Welcome to another Sunday with Ramona J. Smith. If you see a little bit of red in my eyes, it is not because I just moved to California. It is because these days I've been working very hard, staring at screens most of the day and being very productive. I have been in LA for almost 3 weeks now. Is this my second Sunday? It's almost 3 weeks, if not 2 solid weeks. We're going into week 3 and I've really been going hard for my business. I've really been hitting the ground running, and this video is going to be all about why you should take the risk in order to reach success. Before we get into the video, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you send this video to someone who may be thinking about taking a big risk, but maybe they have some apprehension, maybe they are a little scared or have some fear of doing something different. Share this with them to help them overcome that fear and get an understanding of what it's gonna look like to take that big leap or take that big risk. You know you can follow me on Instagram at RamonaJSmith1. You can send me an email, ispeak@RamonaJSmith.com, or you can always text the word SPEAK, that's SPEAK, to 216-309-2341. Would love for you to join the family. Would love for you to subscribe to the channel. We drop every Sunday, maybe Monday if it's been a hard Sunday, but we drop every single week, and we're gonna be doing this for the next 10 years. This is episode 7 out of 520, I believe. Keep rocking with us. Stick around. It's going to be a beautiful, long journey of videos of me sharing my knowledge and expertise about public speaking, about success, about confidence, about how I have been able to create a life for myself that I am loving and living currently in Los Angeles. Why should you take risks when you are reaching success? Risk taking helps to get you out of your comfort zone. What's the point of getting out of your comfort zone? Because a lot of people always say, you gotta get out your bubble, you gotta get out your comfort zone. But what does that mean? Getting out of your comfort zone is simply a way for you to learn, and it's a way for you to grow. When you go out of your comfort zone, out of that safety zone, when you cut off the safety net, it helps you to learn and grow and to be more resilient, and in some cases become more independent. Because if you never take a chance to fall or to fail or to make a mistake, you're not going to be able to learn what it feels like to overcome challenges because you've never challenged yourself. Think about people who are in professions where maybe they fall a lot, perhaps a gymnast. Think of a gymnast. She's gonna fall a lot. And if she doesn't fall, she has to take risks in order to do those flips and tricks and all the amazing things that gymnasts do. But if she never took that leap and allow herself to fall, she wouldn't know what it feels like to fall. She wouldn't know how to avoid the fall, and she wouldn't know how to put herself back together in case she falls and bruises her elbow, or in case she falls and hurts her leg or something like that. You have to be able to understand what it looks like to overcome the challenges that happen along the road to success. If you never experienced challenges, how do you know how to overcome anything? If you've never put yourself out there to explore, then you're doing a disservice to yourself, because there are so many experiences that you will not have had you not taken that risk. That's even in relationships. Some people don't get in relationships because I don't want to break up, or I just don't want to have to deal with another person. But when you think about relationships and you think about those long-term relationships, people have learned how to navigate around the challenges. They've learned how to communicate. They've learned how to work together. They've learned how to operate in life with another person. But those are things that you just don't experience when you're not in a relationship. With risks, when you do something that you've never done, you'll be able to experience things that you've never experienced. For example, when I was living in my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, we call it a big small town because Cleveland, it's a lot of people. There's a lot of people, but everybody knows everybody. And in some cases, it's very segregated and cliquish and even a little tribal if you think about it. So once you get to know one group of people, you get to know everybody in that group. And once you get to know another group of people, you know everybody in that group. So you kind of get to know these different cohorts, and then everybody starts to know everybody. So we call it a big, small town. I had gotten used to running into the same people. I had started to understand how this group works and that group works. And if you're with the real estate people, this is what they do. And if you're with the models, that's what they do. And if you're with the people who are in the music and poetry and entertainment scene, this is what they do. I learned about the cliques and the tribes, and I learned how to navigate through them in that big, small town. But in that big, small town, there was not a lot of room for me to grow and expand into public speaking. So I decided to move to Los Angeles. And I was young, y'all. I was 23 when I decided to buy a one-way ticket, sell everything, and move to Los Angeles. And I did that because I didn't want to be a big fish in a small pond. And Cleveland was a small pond for me. And I just felt like I kind of hit a ceiling. And I could have stayed there. I could have stayed there and kept doing the same things over and over. But I felt like I wouldn't experience the growth that I could possibly experience coming out to Los Angeles. Now, when I came out to Los Angeles, what I did not have was a plan. So when you're taking risks, especially calculated risks, I would say take more calculated risks. Try to have a plan. That's one reason why I only lasted in LA the first time for 1 year, because I didn't have a plan. However, what I learned from taking that first risk with moving from Cleveland to LA was that, like they always say, if I can make it in Cleveland, I can make it anywhere. Out here, I never experienced homelessness. I never had to live in a car. I knew how to find a job. I knew how to reach out to people and create networks and navigate through those different groups and cohorts, just like I learned in Cleveland. The difference here was it was so big that I was a little overwhelmed. When I realized that Hollywood was just full of all types of people, and it wasn't what I thought it was, and I wasn't gonna get discovered walking down the street like some of these random people did, I got a little discouraged. But that's because I didn't have a plan. But being out here, I did learn how to embrace creativity. I was very much inspired by the scenery and the nature. I wrote my first book when I was in LA. I learned about diversity. I learned how just because you're in this place that is magical and great things happen to certain people, the reality of the situation is if you don't have a plan or if you don't have some super lucky streak, you're probably gonna have to get a job like everybody else. But I learned that. And then the lessons that I learned from LA, I took those lessons back to Cleveland, and I knew that I tried, and I didn't come down on myself too hard because I did try. But taking that initial risk, it helped me, first of all, be able to say that I lived in a new town. Whether I was successful or not, I did it. I had the courage to get up and do it the first time. And then moving back home, it made me appreciate home a little bit more because I had the courage and the faith in myself to go out there on my own, try it, and come back. When I came back, I had a plan. When I came back home, I definitely had a plan. I got a job before I went back home. But that's what happens when, even if you don't achieve the goal initially, that's what happens when you take risks. You learn. You're going to learn. Now, fast forward a couple of years, I came out here with a partner and with a plan. Now I'm not out here all willy-nilly. Now I'm not out here trying to go down Hollywood Boulevard and try to get discovered. I'm not out here trying to be an actress or a model. I have a business now. I have a degree, I have a couple of degrees now. I have an understanding of how the market works, and I came out here with my business already solid so that I can just expand it and grow it now that I'm here. And that's the beauty of taking risks. You are going to learn. It is like a college. It is like a boot camp, a basic training. You are going to learn some solid skills that are going to help take you to the next level. Now, that next level may not be in the arena that you initially thought, but the skills that you learn and the confidence that you gain in yourself from taking these risks and taking chances and stepping out on faith and stepping out on that invisible staircase that Dr. Martin Luther King talked about is going to boost your self-esteem so much. Because to be completely honest with you, if for some reason it didn't work out in LA this time, I would still be proud of myself for coming out here again and trying it again and taking the lessons that I learned this time and doing a redo in Houston, or taking that motivation and that empowerment back to Houston. I don't see that happening. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not a psychic. I don't see that happening this time, but I'm just saying it's about the lessons. Any of you have gone to college? Have any of you gone to college and actually finished? Or even if you went to college for a couple of years, it's not just about the degree most of the time. The degree is great. We initially start with the end in mind. The finish line is of course the degree, but when you are in college, it's the experience that shapes who you are. It's the people that you meet. It's the groups that you become a part of. It's the classes that you take. It's the experiences that you have. For me, when I went back to college, to undergrad, to my second school, because first I got a 2-year degree and then I went to a 4-year university, but I only had to do 2 years because I had the associates. So I only had to do 2 years to get the bachelor's. It was so much fun to study abroad in Ghana. It was so much fun to spend 21 days in West Africa. It was so much fun for me to do mission trips in Detroit. It was so much fun for me to be a part of the SIG Fellows and the Center for Innovation and Growth. It was so fun for me to be a part of the Digital Marketing Clinic. It was just the experiences and the learning. It was amazing. And at the end of all this, I get a degree. So sometimes when you take those risks, it's not even about what you thought was going to be the end goal. It's about the things that you learn along the way. It's about developing resilience along the way. Maybe you meet some amazing people who become family along the way. You just get these enriching experiences that you would have never got had you stayed in your comfort zone. That is the importance of taking risks. It's not to be careless. It's not to just say, hey, I'm gonna jump off a building. It's not to be crazy. It is for you to prove to yourself that you have what it takes to step out of the ordinary. And when you step out of the ordinary, that's a great opportunity for you to become extraordinary. So take risks, even if they don't work out. I love the Magic School Bus, and I know I'm dating myself here, but there was a cartoon called The Magic School Bus, and they had the teacher, the instructor, her name was Miss Frizzle, and they would go on these field trips, and Miss Frizzle was like, get dirty, make mistakes, and get messy, or something like she said. Somebody drop in the comments what she said. She said, make mistakes, get messy, and lose control, or something like that, because we learn by making mistakes. We learn through failure. We learn how to come back from our setbacks. So if you are thinking about moving to a new city, don't worry about the outcome, just get there. If you are thinking about starting a career, don't worry about becoming the CEO. Just get the position with the company. If you are thinking about going into a new relationship, don't worry about what if you break up or what if it doesn't work out. Just take it day by day. Just take it day by day. Because sometimes it's not always about the outcome, it's about the experience, it's about the journey. It's about the journey, what you learn along the way. I'll say this and then I'll let you guys go. My favorite book in the whole world is called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And I hope I don't say his name wrong. I think it's Paulo Coelho. And the book is all about this man, and he takes this journey. And he doesn't know where it's gonna go, and he has all these different experiences, but at the end, all those experiences, it was worthwhile. and he got everything that he was looking for. He just didn't get it the way he thought he was going to get it. But everything he went through, it kind of just like lined up to his ultimate destination. So if you are thinking about stepping out on faith, if you are thinking about taking a risk, just try it. Just do it. Because what's the worst that can happen? You can fail. Okay. It's okay. If you move out of state, you can always go back home. What's the worst that can happen in a relationship? Well, if you break up, okay. It's 8 billion people on this earth. If you get a new job and it doesn't work out, it's okay. You can always find another one. So just focus on getting the experience. Focus on testing yourself and proving to yourself that you can do something new, that you do have it in you to try something new. And I guarantee the lessons that you learn, they're gonna be worth it, either immediately or later on down the line, when you can think back about what you experienced when you took that risk and how you can apply it to that current situation of success. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Click the notification bell so that you don't ever miss a video. Like, comment, and share. As I mentioned before, you can email me, ispeak@ramonajsmith.com. Shoot me a text, 216-309-2341. I would love to work with you as far as your public speaking. If you have a small business making under $5,000 a month, I would love to coach you in your small business. I would love to work with you. I have plenty of programs. We can do one-to-one a few times a week. We can do 2 times a week for extended time periods. I have a 6-month program, I have a 6-week program, and I have one-on-one hourly coaching. Just reach out to me. You can visit my website as well, RamonaJSmith.com. Hey, take risks, get dirty, make mistakes. It is going to be worth it. Take the risk in order for you to reach the success that you are seeking. I will see y'all next week, and take a risk.
I'm a world champion, baby. I bet I can breathe that.